As we near the end of another year, I like to always take a look back and remember all the things over the course of this year. But this year is something different. We've made a lot of changes here on the channel, let alone a whole new platform to jump from. And with that brings new faces, new opportunities, and new beginnings. So I decided, let's take a look back on many different moments from the channel. I realized that a lot of you don't really know who I am. You just know me from this screen that you watch me from, whether it be in the live streams or the videos. You've come to know me as JWare. But that's not who I am. It is a big part of me, but it isn't just me. So in this video, I decided it's time to take a look back from the beginning to now and find out what made me JWare. To get the full story of who I am, we have to start from the beginning. And it was a dark and stormy night. Now hold on here, it wasn't like that type of dark and stormy night, but it was indeed nighttime and the rain was falling. Now I was born to my two amazing parents, and I was their first child, so let's just say I was the guinea pig of the bunch. Over the years, that family grew and I became the oldest of 5 total kids. And you guys know my brother Dixon, as I game with him a lot here on the streams. And yeah, I know, I'm short compared to all of them. Don't need to bring it up. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on my childhood years, as, to be honest, I don't remember a lot from my childhood. However, I will be able to start from my high school years, as those memories are still fresh in my mind. Now, I grew up in a small town known as Preston, Idaho. And yes, not many of you do know where that is. However, you should know what we're famous for. I mean, look at this guy. Yeah, Napoleon Dynamite. That is what Preston is known for. And yes, that stage and lockers that he used in this movie are still there, and I did use them. So guess what, guys? I'm famous for that. Get over it. Wow, I came at you guys very aggressive. Let's get back on topic, shall we? Don't want to look at that anymore. In high school, I competed in a variety of sports. My freshman through junior year, I did cross country in the fall, basketball in the winter, and track and field in the spring. My senior year, I switched it up. I still did the cross country and basketball, but I did switch over to lacrosse for my senior year. Doing sports was absolutely amazing. It brought a lot of lessons into my life, allowed me to meet a lot of amazing people, even one of my best friends, Bayland, that I hung out with all the time. I even had a good friend, Ethan, that you guys have seen on this channel here and there. Sports wasn't the only thing going in my life. Something amazing happened. I had an amazing teacher who pushed me to my limits and even challenged us to write short stories, which I was able to turn those short stories into novels. I was able to publish a few books while in high school, and honestly, I still write to this day because of that teacher. And to this day, we now have 6 books available that anybody could buy on Amazon. This is not a plug, I'm just telling you about it, but you guys should still go check them out. I graduated in 2016, and man, was that a fun time. I do sometimes miss high school and the easier days. Man, I had it easy. But ultimately, I had to move on, and so I went to school. I went to a little rinky-dink junior college known as Snow College down in Ephraim, Utah. And if you guys have never heard of this place, don't worry. It is literally the smallest junior college you could imagine. I mean, seriously, the town is only alive because of this college. Otherwise, there'd be nothing there besides maybe a Walmart. At Snow College, I did what most people can expect a dumbass college kid to do. Nothing. I did a little bit with the basketball team there for a bit. I became a manager for them, so I got to go to practices and to some games occasionally when they traveled. But for the most part, I didn't enjoy what I was doing. I initially was going to go into crime scene investigating because, you know, I watched a shit ton of CSI growing up as a kid and loved that shit. But something felt off. I didn't know what to do. I just knew that school was not what I needed to do. So I did the only reasonable thing that you can do. Drop out. No, that's not reasonable. Stay in school, kids. Dropping out allowed me to focus on new things. I went and got a job with that basketball team. I was hired on as a student athlete, but eventually just turned into a normal job so I could still pay my bills. Now, while in my free time, I started dabbling a little bit with YouTube. Now, by dabbling in it, here's what I knew about YouTube. In school, in high school, I should explain, we really only used YouTube to look up like current events, some news clips from like CNN or whatever news thing we were looking at. However, one day I was just scrolling through there trying to find something to watch, and I came across a channel that ended up changing my life for the better. Now, I'm going to give this content creator a shout out. He's a bigger content creator, but it was the first thing that came across and exposed me to the world of gaming on YouTube. The Rad Brad is the first channel that I experienced, and his content that he was creating was gameplay walkthroughs. He was playing his favorite campaigns, some new games everywhere, and going through the entire campaigns, posting videos on it. And honestly, I thought it was pretty cool. After watching him play through all of the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 campaign, I wanted in. At this point in my life, I had no idea that people were making money from YouTube. I just thought it looked like fun. I loved video games. I was playing them in all my spare time when I wasn't at basketball. And I mean, why not, right? Have some fun with it. Do what I love and just post videos. And so I began brainstorming. And honestly, I didn't know where to begin. I needed to come up with a name for myself, and everything that I tried just didn't make sense. I wanted to go with my Xbox gamer tag at the time, which was Lacrosse Man 2016, which is still my gamer tag on Xbox to this day, but it just didn't feel right because the name was more lacrosse and sports based, and I was playing video games and I didn't really play lacrosse anymore. Every idea that I came to was just wrong until I found a new content creator out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are taking a look at the funniest proximity chats in Warzone so far.
A very popular content creator known as Noah J456 is the creator that I found, and boy did he make a difference in my life. Not only because he introduced me to something new in Call of Duty and zombies and the whole aspect of Easter eggs, but the fact that his name was simple. He wasn't out there to be flashy. He was out there to just be himself. And so I took that into consideration. In high school, a lot of my friends called me JWare. And the reason is because my brother Dixon is only a year younger than me. So in sports, our coaches like to call us both Ware. And since we were both Wares, we would both respond. So my coaches and friends started calling me JWare. Just use the old name that my coaches and friends used to call me. And there we had it. The name JWare was born, and I had a laptop, I had an Xbox, I began creating content.
Hey guys, what is going on? This is Jackson. Okay, hey, what's up guys? This is JWare.
The channel had been started, and honestly, I was having a lot of fun. I had no idea that you could make this a career. Nor did I really want to. I was just having fun playing with some friends that I was meeting randomly online. That spring, after school got out, I went home. And for that year, just got a job at a restaurant back in Preston and just was working, living with family for a little bit, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the next stages of life. I didn't want to go back to school because I just wasn't enjoying it there. I dropped out. They told me I could come back if I just needed a year where I was fresh out of school, wasn't ready for it. But I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go and spend all that time and effort on something that I didn't know what I wanted to do. And my family didn't believe in video games being a career, so I couldn't really content create while I was there. I would post videos here and there, but it was only when my parents weren't around so that I could record video games and get some content out. And that's where something really happened. My best friend Bayland passed away. And for that first 2/3 of the year, I couldn't do anything. I would wake up each day, go to work, come home, go to bed, repeat. And then I met a girl. Amazing girl, by the way. We got talking. She was an old friend from high school, and we started dating. And later that year in October, we got married. And I'll be honest, still an amazing girl, but we both just weren't ready for it, and we weren't meant to be together. We had a lot of issues. So, we did the right thing, what we felt was right, at least, for the both of us. We got divorced. And as much as that hurts to say that I had gotten a divorce that young, I was only like 20 at the time, it was the right thing to do. And she's doing amazing, by the way. I'm not going to show a picture of her or anything for her privacy, as I do not have her permission to do such things. But she's doing amazing, and I'm very happy for her. But I went back into a dark pit. Again, just kind of posting content where I wanted. You know, I mean, I started a little bit more once I was married, but it still was kind of here and there. And that's when I figured out I could stream. And things changed dramatically. With streaming, I was having so much fun, and I would post clips here, but those videos are so old that I can't download them on YouTube. It's kind of a weird thing, but they are quite fun. It allowed me to express myself in a live aspect and allow you guys to communicate with me, and so I wasn't just sitting there waiting for you guys to comment on the videos. Honestly, streaming changed my life. I was having more fun with it, and I didn't have to do any editing. I was a lazy YouTuber at the point. Stream for 2 to 4 hours, let that be the video for the week. Nothing else needed. Quite simple, and I enjoyed it. And for that time, streaming just became my main source of content. If I was planning on going away, like I reffed basketball at the time, and I mean, I didn't really have another job at that point. I decided that reffing basketball was all I needed to do, and I was making pretty good money from it, so that was my main job. If I was a ref and I was making content, I would stream for 14 to 15 hours a day in some cases once I really got going. From all that content creating and hard work came an opportunity that, looking back, I don't regret, but I'm glad I experienced it to know what I needed to do correctly for the future. I was able to join an esports team. A team at the time known as the Rose Army had contacted me about joining their team as a content creator. Now, the Rose Army was so small, just a startup team. It wouldn't be a team that you guys know. Quickly said yes. I had been watching esports just recently, mainly the CWL at the time, and wanted to be a part of it. I joined the team. After a few months, the Rose Army wasn't getting a lot of traction. The name just wasn't sticking, so they decided to rebrand into Loyal Esports, which I still have that jersey from today. I was a part of that team for about a year, mainly as a content creator. If they needed me to, I would participate with their Fortnite team, as that was my main game at the time, and so I would travel here and there with them and compete, but pretty small at that point. Now I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let me backtrack. During my time with esports, I was required to switch from YouTube to Twitch, as Twitch at the time was a faster growing platform. It would allow me to get noticed more, therefore more growth from my end, therefore Loyal would get more notice. So at the time, I made the switch to Twitch and began growing there. After those few months to a year of being with Loyal Esports, some things were changing. Where I was living just was really expensive. And with Loyal Esports, I wasn't getting paid from them, as, again, they were a startup company. There were no contracts involved. It was more like, hey, I'm part of the team, but I can leave at any time. And so I needed a more secure job, as where I had moved to was just racking up the bills. It was $400 just for rent. Then we add on top of an internet bill and all this other stuff. Reffing basketball just wasn't paying the bills, and I needed more money. So I made the decision that I needed at the time and left the team and went and got a job, a full-time job. And that went great for a while until it didn't, because we all know what happened in 2019, beginning of 2020.
This pandemic has spread faster than any disease in modern history.
Too soon? During the COVID shutdown, the job that I worked at was considered non-essential to majority of the workers. So my team was disbanded. I was left without a job. I was living off of unemployment, which, you know, was paying the bills, but not leaving a lot left over for me to go and have fun or do anything with friends or buy new video games. I was literally scraping the bottom of the barrel. Luckily for me, reffing basketball was still an option, and I would still go do that. Of course, there were safety measures in place, but I could still do it. And I was able to donate plasma at a nearby plasma bank, and they paid pretty well for me to go donate plasma. So I was still making money and still doing just fine, even throughout the shutdown. As things started opening up, I was able to find a new place to live that was a lot cheaper, and I'm still currently here 3 years later. I'm absolutely loving it. 2 years, whatever time frame we're in. Bad, I lose track. Math is not my strong suit. Everybody ignore me and stay in school. So I still live in that place that I moved to. And honestly, amazing. It's cheaper, and honestly, the landlords I love. It's a private location, allows me to just enjoy what I do, and I can control my own internet speeds. At the place that I was, I had to pay for my internet, but they got to choose how fast it was going, and boy, trying to split that with 5 other people was not the best. Now, I'm on that beautiful speeds, allowing me to create content for you guys, and honestly, doing great. Have an amazing job at Subway and doing just fine there. Over that time, I was still on Twitch. Even after I left Loyal Esports, I still was streaming on Twitch. Twitch was doing great. Had built an amazing community, became an affiliate over there, and was having a lot of fun. Content creating was just great. Of course, my YouTube channel fell apart because, I mean, I wasn't doing anything with it. The last video I had posted was just before switching over to Loyal. Honestly, was loving it. Now, of course, over that time on Twitch, things started changing, and, you know, we all know the dumpster fire that Twitch was having earlier this year, and last I checked, are still having a few fires that they have yet to put out over there. Ultimately, I made the decision to come back to where it all began, my home, and the decision honestly could not have been better. I've had a blast here. Granted, the numbers as far as subscribers to followers ratio is less over there. Like, I grew to the 490 something followers that we had in a shorter time frame than I was on YouTube doing all that I was. But of course, I was doing things different on Twitch. I was actually trying to promote a channel. I was actually tagging things. I was doing the things that you need to do to grow a channel. Now, here we are on YouTube, and honestly, I could not be happier. Yes, the subscriber numbers are down compared to followers over on Twitch, but honestly, that doesn't matter to me. I'm enjoying the content that we're creating. I have never enjoyed streaming or editing videos, which is something I really thought I would not enjoy, as much as I have. Some of my favorite moments are just from the streams, or taking moments from the streams and turning it into videos with some dumb ideas, dumb edits that I've learned, and just having fun with it. And I mean, I've even started making TikToks, because who knew I would be into that shit? And so, that's the recap so far. Anything I've missed so far? Bart! Help me! Did I forget something? But that's just me in a nutshell. From birth to high school to now. Of course, I don't remember anything from my childhood. Besides all the dark and pain. Sorry, had a moment there of lies and deceit, and you all know I love to do that. That's me. And everything that led up to me becoming JWare and growing the Phoenix Kingdom. And you guys are all a part of it. So, with this Christmas season and the end of a new year, I just want to say thank you. Without you guys being here, watching every video and supporting me like you have, I would not be able to do this. So, from the bottom of my heart and Bert's dark heart over there, we say thank you. Thank you for being here and helping us become better than what we were yesterday. I love you guys, and I can't wait to see what the Phoenix Kingdom has in store for us.